Dr. Kim Park stared at her lunch, a spicy bowl of instant ramen with extra hot sauce, when the aliens first appeared on every screen on Earth. She sat in her small office at the International Space Research Center, and like everyone else, she stopped everything to watch. The aliens looked like tall, thin trees with blue bark. They had 4 arms and spoke perfect English through their translation devices. They called themselves the Galactic Council, and they had been watching Earth for the past year. "We come in peace," they said, "and wish to welcome humanity to the galactic community." 3 days later, Dr. Park found herself chosen as Earth's representative. Why? Because she was one of the few xenobiologists who also had experience in diplomatic relations. Plus, she had written a book about possible alien biology that turned out to be surprisingly accurate. The first meeting took place on a neutral space station. Dr. Park brought a simple packed lunch: rice, kimchi, and grilled fish. She didn't know this would cause the first major shock to the alien diplomats. The lead alien, who called itself Blue Speaker, watched her eat with all 6 of its eyes growing wider and wider. You just consumed fermented plant matter together with dead aquatic life forms." Dr. Park swallowed her bite of kimchi and nodded. "Yes, it's quite tasty. Would you like to try some?" The 3 alien diplomats moved back quickly. "You mean you regularly eat multiple types of food in the same meal?" Another alien, Green Speaker, asked. Its voice shook slightly. "Of course," Dr. Park said. "Humans can eat almost anything that contains nutrients and isn't toxic. We've evolved to be very adaptable." The aliens whispered among themselves in their own language, which sounded like wind through leaves. Dr. Park noticed their color changing slightly. She would later learn this was a sign of stress. "Please explain," Blue Speaker said. "You say humans can eat different things, not just one type of energy source." Dr. Park nodded again. "We need a variety of nutrients, actually. Proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals. We get these from many different sources: plants, animals, fungi. Some humans even eat insects." The third alien, Red Speaker, made a sound like rustling paper, their version of aghast. "And your digestive system can handle all these different substances without failing?" "Yes," Dr. Park said. "Our bodies break down the food and use what we need. We can even eat things that are slightly poisonous to us in small amounts, like caffeine in coffee or capsaicin in hot peppers." "You willingly consume poisons." Red Speaker's color turned almost white. Dr. Park realized she had stumbled onto something important. In very small amounts, yes, some of these substances can be beneficial in the right doses. Our bodies have evolved to handle them. The aliens had another quick discussion. When they turned back to her, Blue Speaker's voice was more formal than before. "Dr. Park, we must inform you that in our experience, most intelligent species evolved to consume one specific type of energy source. The fact that humans can consume and process multiple types of matter, including substances that would be lethal to other species, is concerning." Dr. Park took another bite of her lunch, noticing how all 6 of Blue Speaker's eyes followed her movement. "Concerning? Why?" "Because," Green Speaker said slowly, "it means humans can survive in environments where other species would starve. It means you are incredibly difficult to eliminate." The meaning hit Dr. Park like a cold wave. They weren't just surprised, they were scared. Humans' ability to eat almost anything made us terrifying to them. Their own species probably evolved to eat just one thing, making them vulnerable to food shortages or environmental changes. "I understand your concern," Dr. Park said carefully, "but this ability is what helped us survive on Earth. Our planet has many different environments and seasons. We had to adapt." "Yes," Blue Speaker said, "we have studied your planet. It is what we call a death world, a planet with extreme conditions that should make advanced life impossible. Yet humans not only survived but thrived." Dr. Park put down her chopsticks. First contact was going well, but she could tell this was just the beginning. If the aliens were frightened by something as simple as human eating habits, how would they react when they learned about everything else humans could do? She smiled politely at the aliens. Perhaps we should schedule another meeting. There's so much more we need to learn about each other. The aliens agreed, but Dr. Park noticed they kept their distance from her lunch for the rest of the meeting. She made a mental note. Next time, maybe bring something less intimidating than kimchi. Captain Rose Lee woke up at 5:00 a.m. space station time, just like she did every morning. She put on her running shoes and exercise clothes, ready for her daily workout. The space station's artificial gravity made it feel just like being on Earth. She didn't know she was about to cause an interstellar incident. The station's track went around the outer ring, with large windows showing the stars outside. Rose started her usual routine, stretching, then a light jog to warm up. Two alien diplomats were walking nearby, their tree-like bodies swaying gently as they moved. After 15 minutes of running, Rose started her strength training. She dropped to the floor for push-ups, then moved on to squats. She was in the middle of her third set when she heard something that sounded like leaves rustling in strong wind. The aliens were making their distress sound. "Human Lee," one of them called out. It was Purple Speaker, who had joined the diplomatic team yesterday. "You are damaging yourself. We must call medical help." Rose stood up, confused. "I'm just exercising," she said, wiping sweat from her forehead. "It's healthy for humans." The second alien, Yellow Speaker, moved closer, all 6 eyes focused on her muscles. But we observe your tissue experiencing micro-tears. Your temperature is elevated. You are losing water through your skin. These are signs of serious damage." Rose tried not to laugh. "That's normal. When we exercise, we do cause small tears in our muscles. Then they heal stronger than before, and sweating helps us cool down." Both aliens turned a pale shade of their usual colors, a sign of extreme distress. Rose remembered from her cultural briefing. "You deliberately damage your body to make it stronger." Purple Speaker's voice shook. "Yes," Rose said. "Look, I can show you how it works." She dropped down to do another set of push-ups. The aliens made their rustling sound even louder. 3 more alien diplomats rushed around the corner, probably drawn by the distress calls. "Captain Lee," Yellow Speaker said formally, "please stop this self-harm immediately. We are concerned for your well-being." Rose stood up again. "It's not self-harm. Here, let me show you my fitness tracking data." She held up her wrist device, displaying her heart rate and other vital signs. "See, everything is within normal human ranges." The aliens crowded around her wrist device, their colors shifting rapidly as they read the data. Dr. Kim Park, who must have heard the commotion, came running up to the group. "Is everything okay?" Dr. Park asked, looking between Rose and the aliens. "They're upset about my morning workout," Rose explained. "I was trying to show them how human exercise works." Dr. Park's eyes widened. "Oh, I should have warned you. The aliens don't damage and repair their bodies like we do. They grow to their full strength and stay that way." "Correct," Purple Speaker said. "The concept of deliberately damaging tissue to strengthen it is disturbing. And you say all humans do this?" "Most of us," Rose said. "Wait until you hear about how human bones heal even stronger at the break point." The aliens all turned almost white, and that's not even counting our endurance capabilities. Rose continued, not noticing Dr. Park's warning look. "Humans can exercise for hours. Some of us run marathons. That's 42 kilometers. You run until other animals give up from exhaustion," Yellow Speaker said slowly. "You damage yourselves deliberately to become stronger. You lose water and minerals through your skin, but keep going. We call it persistence hunting," Rose said proudly. "It's how our ancestors used to catch food." Dr. Park stepped in quickly. "Perhaps we should schedule a formal presentation about human physical capabilities. That way we can explain everything properly." The aliens agreed, but Rose noticed they kept at least 10 feet away from her as they left. She shrugged and went back to her workout. She still had 3 sets of planks to do. Rose, Dr. Park said quietly, maybe we should tone down the exercise demonstrations for a while. I think we're scaring our new friends. Rose wiped more sweat from her face and grinned. Wait until they see weightlifting competitions or ballet dancers. Then they'll really freak out. Dr. Park just shook her head. At this rate, the aliens would think all humans were indestructible super soldiers. Though, looking at how easily Rose went back to her intense workout, maybe they weren't entirely wrong. Dr. Amy Cho was having a quiet day in the space station's medical bay when the accident happened. One of the maintenance workers cut their hand on a sharp piece of metal while fixing a panel. The worker came into the medical bay holding their bleeding hand. Dr. Cho quickly put on gloves and began to clean the wound. She didn't notice the 3 alien diplomats who had come to observe human medical practices that day. Don't worry, she told the worker. It's not too deep. You'll need a few stitches, but it should heal nicely. That's when she heard the now familiar sound of distressed aliens, like leaves rustling in a storm. The human is leaking red fluid. Yellow speaker moved quickly to the far side of the room. Why are you so calm? This is a catastrophic system failure. Dr. Cho looked up from her work, surprised. It's just blood, she said. The cut will stop bleeding soon. Look, it's already starting to clot. The aliens moved closer, their 6 eyes fixed on the wound. The worker's blood was indeed starting to clot, forming a dark red scab. This is normal. Purple speaker asked. Your bodies can stop leaks automatically. Of course, Dr. Cho said. She finished cleaning the wound and prepared to put in the stitches. Our blood has platelets that help it clot. Then the body can start healing the wound. And what are you doing now? Green speaker asked, watching her thread the surgical needle. I'm going to help the wound heal better by putting in some stitches, Dr. Cho explained. It holds the edges of the cut together while new skin grows. The aliens watched in fascination and horror as she carefully stitched the wound closed. The worker didn't even need pain medication. It was a small enough cut that they said they barely felt it. You mean? Yellow speaker's color had faded to almost white. You can be damaged, lose vital fluids, and then repair yourselves. Yes, Dr. Cho said. Our bodies are very good at healing. Cuts, broken bones, burned skin, they all heal. Sometimes we even end up stronger at the healed spot. Dr. Kim Park walked into the medical bay just then. She had gotten good at noticing when the aliens were distressed and often showed up to help explain things. Dr. Park, Purple speaker turned to her. Did you know about this healing ability? Of course, Dr. Park said. All humans have it. But that's not even the most impressive part of our healing system. Wait until you hear about our immune system. There's more. Green speaker's leaves trembled. Our bodies are full of special cells that fight off invading organisms, Dr. Cho explained excitedly. When bacteria or viruses try to make us sick, our immune system attacks them. And once it learns to fight one type of invader, it remembers how to do it forever. The aliens were silent for a long moment. Then Yellow Speaker spoke very quietly. You mean to tell us that humans are full of tiny warriors that fight microscopic invaders? And these warriors learn and remember their enemies. Exactly. Dr. Cho smiled. And every time we fight off a disease, our immune system gets stronger. It's like having a tiny army inside us that's always training and getting better at protecting us. The aliens huddled together, speaking quickly in their own language. When they turned back, their colors had shifted to pale shades. We must report this to the Galactic Council, Purple Speaker said formally. Humans are more remarkable than we thought. You not only eat anything and deliberately damage yourselves to get stronger, but you also have autonomous healing abilities and internal defense systems. Don't forget our gut bacteria, Dr. Cho added helpfully. We have billions of helpful organisms living in our digestive system that help us break down food and fight off harmful bacteria. Dr. Park noticed the aliens' colors fading even more and quickly said, "Maybe we should save the discussion about gut bacteria for another day." After the aliens left, Dr. Cho turned to Dr. Park. "Was it something I said?" "Let's just say," Dr. Park smiled, "that the idea of humans being walking ecosystems with self-repairing capabilities and internal armies might be a bit overwhelming for them." The worker, who had sat quietly through all of this, looked at their freshly bandaged hand. "You mean other species can't heal like we do? How do they survive?" "That," Dr. Park said, "is exactly what they're starting to wonder about us." Security Chief Dana Park was showing 3 alien diplomats around the space station's safety systems when the accident happened. A heavy storage container broke loose from its holders in the cargo bay, pinning a worker against the wall. "Help!" the worker shouted. The container was crushing them. Dana didn't think. She ran to the container, grabbed it, and lifted. In normal situations, she would never be able to lift something so heavy. But this wasn't a normal situation. The aliens watched in horror as Dana's face turned red with effort. Her muscles strained as she lifted the massive container just enough for the worker to slip free. "Medical team to Cargo Bay 3. Dana called into her radio after setting down the container. She was breathing hard, but otherwise seemed fine. "Impossible," Blue's speaker whispered. "We checked the container's weight. No human should be able to lift that much." "Adrenaline," Dana explained, still catching her breath. "When humans are in danger, our bodies release chemicals that make us temporarily stronger." Dr. Kim Park arrived with the medical team. She had started keeping track of alien diplomatic meetings after the exercise incident with Captain Lee. "What happened?" Dr. Park asked, looking between Dana and the shocked aliens. "Security Chief Park just lifted 300 kilograms, Yellow Speaker said. She channeled destructive energy through her body to perform an impossible task." Dana shook her head. "Not destructive energy, just adrenaline. It's a natural human response to emergency situations." "You mean?" Purple Speaker's leaves trembled. "All humans can do this." "Yes," Dr. Park said. "When humans are scared or need to protect others, our bodies release hormones that make us stronger and faster. We can ignore pain, lift heavy objects, and run faster than normal." "We've had cases," Dana added, "where mothers lifted cars off their children. People who outran wild animals. Humans who kept fighting with broken bones when others were in danger." The aliens' colors turned so pale they were almost transparent. "You're saying," Blue Speaker said slowly, "that humans become more dangerous when they're injured or frightened?" "Basically, yes," Dana said. "Our bodies have emergency systems that activate when we need them. Extra strength, less pain, faster reactions. And this happens automatically." Yellow Speaker asked, "You don't control it?" "Not consciously," Dr. Park explained. "It's part of our fight or flight response. When we're in danger, our bodies prepare either to fight or to run away. Our hearts beat faster, we breathe more quickly, our muscles get more energy." "Stop," Purple Speaker held up 2 of its 4 hands. "Are you telling us that humans not only have healing powers and internal armies, but also have an emergency system that makes them even more dangerous when they're hurt or scared?" "Well, when you put it that way," Dana grinned. "Yeah, that's exactly right." The aliens spoke quickly among themselves in their rustling language. Finally, Blue Speaker turned to Dr. Park. "We must update our species threat assessment again," it said. "Humans are not just adaptable. You are walking battle stations with combat enhancement systems built into your bodies." "That's a bit dramatic," Dana said. "We're not that dangerous. You just lifted 3 times your body weight because another human was in danger," Yellow Speaker pointed out, "without any preparation or technology, using only your body's natural abilities." "Speaking of which," Dr. Park interrupted, "Dana, you should go to the medical bay for a checkup. Lifting that much weight, even with adrenaline, might have strained something." "I feel fine," Dana said, rolling her shoulders. Maybe a bit sore, but nothing serious. The aliens made their rustling sound again when they heard this. You mean, Purple Speaker said, you can use these enhancement chemicals without serious damage to your body? Usually, yes, Dr. Park said. We might be sore afterward, but our bodies are built to handle short bursts of extreme effort. As they left the cargo bay, Donna heard Yellow Speaker say to the others, first, they tell us they can eat anything. Then they show us they can heal from injuries and fight off microscopic invaders. Now we learn they have built-in combat enhancements. What else can these humans do? Dana smiled. Wait until they found out about human stamina and sleep patterns. That would really blow their minds. Engineer Michelle Han was working in the space station's reactor control room when the cooling system failed. Red warning lights flashed everywhere as the temperature began to rise. Everyone out, she shouted, but she stayed behind to manually activate the emergency coolant release. The room was already getting dangerously hot. 2 alien diplomats, Red Speaker and Green Speaker, watched through the control room's window. They were there for a routine tour of the station's power systems when the emergency started. Human Han. Red Speaker called through the intercom. Your body temperature is rising to dangerous levels. You must exit immediately. Michelle wiped sweat from her face and kept working. Not until I fix this, she said. A few more minutes won't hurt me. The temperature in the room had reached 40 degrees Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit. The aliens' monitoring devices showed Michelle's body temperature rising, but she kept working steadily. Dr. Kim Park arrived at a run, alerted by the station's emergency systems. Michelle, what's happening? Cooling system failure, Michelle said through the intercom. Almost got it fixed. Just need 2 more minutes. The aliens turned to Dr. Park in distress. She is experiencing extreme heat exposure, Green Speaker said. Her body is releasing water at an alarming rate, yet she continues to function. Humans can handle high temperatures for short periods, Dr. Park explained. Our sweating system helps cool us down. But she's losing precious water and minerals. Red Speaker's color darkened with concern. Just then, Michelle finished the repair. The emergency coolant system activated, and cold air began flooding the room. She walked out, soaked with sweat but smiling. All fixed, she said. The reactor's safe now. The aliens scanned her with their devices. Impossible, Green Speaker said. Your core temperature rose by 2 degrees. You lost significant water. And yet, you're undamaged. I just need some water and a shower, Michelle said. Maybe a sports drink to replace the electrolytes. No big deal. No big deal. Red Speaker's leaves trembled. You survived temperatures that would disable most species, and now you speak of simply replacing lost water and continuing your day. Dr. Park saw a teaching opportunity. Actually, humans can survive an amazing range of temperatures. Our bodies have several ways to handle heat and cold. Tell us, Green Speaker said, though its color suggested it might regret asking. Well, Michelle said, wiping more sweat from her face, we sweat to cool down when it's hot. Our bodies can handle core temperature changes of several degrees. We shiver to warm up when it's cold. Some humans swim in ice water for fun. 4. Fun. Red Speaker's color faded to almost white. Yes, Dr. Park added. Humans live in places where temperatures go from minus 50 degrees Celsius to plus 50 degrees Celsius. We've adapted to survive in deserts and Arctic regions. The aliens were silent for a moment. Then Green Speaker spoke very quietly. You mean to tell us that humans can function in temperature ranges that would kill most species, and some do it for entertainment? Don't forget about saunas, Michelle said cheerfully. That's where we sit in very hot rooms on purpose. It's relaxing. The aliens made their rustling distress sound. Let me understand this correctly, Red Speaker said. Humans can survive extreme heat by leaking water from their skin. They can survive extreme cold by generating heat through muscle movement. And they do both these things voluntarily. Pretty much, Michelle shrugged. We're very adaptable. Adaptable. Green Speaker's color shifted rapidly. You are environmental tanks, walking temperature regulation units, and you say this is normal for your species. Dr. Park tried to calm the situation. Perhaps we should continue this discussion after Michelle has had a chance to cool down and rehydrate. The aliens agreed, but as they left, Dr. Park heard Red Speaker say to Green Speaker, "First, they tell us humans can eat anything, heal from injuries, fight off invasions, and become stronger when damaged. Now we learn they can survive in temperatures that would kill most species. What kind of death world did these creatures evolve on?" Michelle just grinned and took a long drink from her water bottle. "Wait until they hear about how humans can hold their breath underwater," she whispered to Dr. Park. "That'll really freak them out." Research Director Joy Kim had been awake for 20 hours straight, working on an important project. She sat in her office, drinking her 6th cup of coffee, when the alien diplomats came to visit. Blue Speaker and Purple Speaker found her surrounded by data screens, typing quickly and making notes. They had come to learn about human research methods, but what they discovered would shock them even more. "Human Kim," Blue Speaker said, checking its monitoring device. "Our sensors indicate you have been conscious for 20 standard units without entering a rest cycle. How is this possible?" Joy looked up from her work. "Oh, I just need to finish this report. I'll sleep later." Later, Purple Speaker's leaves trembled. "But all intelligent species require multiple rest cycles throughout each day. Your brain should have shut down hours ago." Dr. Kim Park, who had taken to monitoring all alien-human interactions, walked in just then. She had started keeping track of Joy's work hours too, worried that her friend was pushing too hard. "Joy," Dr. Park said, "have you been up all night again?" "Just need to finish this section," Joy said, taking another sip of coffee. "The data analysis is almost done." The alien's colors shifted rapidly as they scanned her. "She is consuming the neural stimulant," Blue Speaker said, its leaves shaking. "And her brain is still functioning at high capacity." "Coffee," Dr. Park explained. "Many humans drink it to stay awake and alert." "You mean," Purple Speaker said slowly, "humans can choose to delay their rest cycles and use chemicals to maintain consciousness?" "Sure," Joy said. "Most humans sleep once a day for about 8 hours, but we can stay awake longer if we need to." The aliens made their rustling sound of distress. "Once a day," Blue Speaker's color faded. "You mean humans remain conscious and active for 16 hours or more at a time?" "Sometimes longer," Joy added helpfully. "I once stayed awake for 3 days straight during my doctoral research. Not healthy, but possible." The alien's colors turned almost white. But what about your neural patterns?" Purple Speaker asked. "All species need regular rest cycles to process information and repair neural pathways." "Oh, we do that when we sleep," Joy said. "Our brains are very active during sleep. We even have dreams." "Dreams?" Both aliens spoke at once. "Mental experiences during sleep," Dr. Park explained. "Our brains process information, create scenarios, solve problems." "You're saying," Blue Speaker interrupted, "that humans are not only conscious for extended periods, but also remain mentally active during rest cycles?" "Yes," Joy said. "Sometimes I solve work problems in my dreams, or I dream about the past, or imagine future events. Everyone dreams differently." The aliens spoke quickly to each other in their rustling language. "This is unprecedented," Purple Speaker finally said. "Most species require multiple daily rest cycles with complete neural shutdown. But humans, you remain conscious for extended periods, can delay rest at will, use chemicals to extend consciousness, and maintain neural activity even during rest. Don't forget about power naps," Joy added brightly. "Sometimes we take short sleeps, just 20 minutes or so, to refresh ourselves. You can control the length of your rest cycles too." Blue Speaker's color kept getting paler. Dr. Park decided to intervene before the aliens learned about lucid dreaming or meditation. Joy, you should really get some sleep now. 20 hours is too long, even with coffee. Just one more hour, Joy said, turning back to her screens. The aliens watched her return to work with a mixture of horror and fascination. Let us understand this correctly. Purple Speaker said to Dr. Park, humans can eat anything, heal from injuries, fight off invasions, become stronger when damaged, survive extreme temperatures, and now we learn you can maintain consciousness for extended periods while having active neural processes even during rest. That's right, Dr. Park said. Though I really wish this particular human would rest more regularly. As they left Joy's office, Blue Speaker turned to Purple Speaker. Add it to the report. Humans do not just adapt to physical challenges. Their very consciousness is adaptable. They are aware and dangerous for far longer than any species we've encountered. Joy just smiled and reached for her coffee cup again. Wait until they learned about how humans could remember things from years ago, or how we could imagine things that didn't exist yet. That would really confuse them. The day the hostile aliens arrived, Dr. Kim Park was drinking tea with Captain Rose Lee in the space station's observation deck. The new aliens looked like giant red crystals, and they were not friendly. We are the Razor Fleet, their leader announced over all communication channels. Your station will surrender to us now. The crystal aliens had a reputation for taking over space stations and using the inhabitants as slaves. They thought the Earth station would be an easy target. They were wrong. This is Security Chief Donna Park. Dana's voice came over the station speakers. We do not surrender to threats. Leave our space immediately. The crystal aliens laughed, a sound like breaking glass. You have no weapons that can harm our ships. Surrender now, or we will make you suffer. Dr. Park watched as Captain Rose Lee's expression changed. It was the look of a predator ready to hunt. Dr. Park, Rose said quietly, remember how the diplomatic aliens keep saying we're scary. Maybe it's time to show these crystal creatures why. Dr. Park nodded and pressed her communication button. Attention all humans on the station. Hostile forces are threatening our home. You know what to do. The crystal aliens watched in confusion as their scans showed strange changes in the human life signs. Heart rates increased. Adrenaline levels rose. Body temperatures went up. Engineer Michelle Hand's voice came over the radio next. Main reactor output increased to maximum safe levels. All systems ready for extended operation. What are they doing? One of the crystal aliens asked their leader. Their bodies are showing signs of severe stress, but they're becoming more active instead of shutting down. Research Director Joy Kim added her report. All station data backed up. Critical research secured. Human crew operating at peak efficiency. The crystal leader demanded, why aren't they panicking? Their vital signs show fear responses, but they're organizing instead of running. Captain Rose Lee smiled as she looked at their battle formations. That's because humans don't just fight or run when we're scared. We do both. We run to better positions, then we fight back harder. The diplomatic aliens, who had been quietly watching, spoke up through their own channel. Warning to the Razor Fleet, Blue Speaker said, humans become more dangerous when threatened. Their bodies release combat chemicals. Their strength increases, their pain tolerance goes up, and they work together better under pressure. Impossible, the crystal leader said. No species becomes stronger when threatened. Dr. Park took the main channel. You should listen to them. Every scary thing about humans that they've discovered. It all gets worse when you threaten us. We don't just survive. We get angry. And angry humans are very, very creative. Security Chief Dana's voice came back. All defense teams in position. Engineering reports all systems ready. Medical bay prepared for casualties. We can do this all day. The crystal alien scans showed more alarming changes. Human body temperatures were still rising, but their coordination was improving. Their neural patterns showed increased focus instead of panic. and their social bonds were getting stronger, not breaking under stress. "Final warning," Captain Rose said. "Leave now, or find out exactly why the diplomatic aliens call Earth a death world." The crystal leader hesitated. Their scans showed something unprecedented. A station full of creatures who were entering what should be battle shock, but were instead becoming more dangerous. Humans who should be cowering were preparing to fight. And they were working together like a single organism. "Retreat," the crystal leader finally ordered. "These humans are not normal prey. They're not prey at all. They're predators pretending to be civilized." As the crystal ships disappeared, Dr. Park heard Yellow Speaker say to the other diplomatic aliens, "Now you understand. Humans don't just have amazing abilities. They get stronger when facing death. They work better under pressure. And they protect each other like a single entity. They're not just dangerous. They're terrifying." Captain Rose just grinned. "Want to know the really scary part?" she asked the diplomatic aliens. "We were only just getting started." Dr. Park watched the crystal ships vanish and smiled. Sometimes, being terrifying could be very useful indeed. 1 month after the crystal aliens ran away, Dr. Kim Park stood before the Galactic Council. The great meeting hall was filled with representatives from 100 alien species. They all wanted to talk about humans. "We have reviewed all reports about humans," the head speaker announced. Its tree-like body towered over the others. "We must decide how to classify Earth and its people." Dr. Park watched as video clips played on the huge screens. They showed Michelle Han working in extreme heat, Captain Rose Lee exercising, Dr. Amy Cho treating wounds, Security Chief Dana Park lifting impossible weights, and Joy Kim working through the night. "Humans can eat almost anything," Yellow Speaker said. "They deliberately damage themselves to grow stronger. They heal from injuries that would kill most species. Their bodies have internal armies fighting invisible enemies." Blue Speaker added, "They can survive extreme temperatures. They stay conscious for incredibly long periods. And when threatened," Purple Speaker said, "they become even more dangerous. Their abilities increase. Their social bonds grow stronger. They work together perfectly." The head speaker turned to Dr. Park. "How do you explain these abilities?" "We evolved on Earth," Dr. Park said simply. "Our planet tried to kill us in 1,000 ways. Hot deserts, frozen mountains, deep oceans, dark caves. We adapted. We survived. We learned to thrive anywhere." "But your abilities are beyond simple survival," Red Speaker argued. "You become stronger from things that should kill you. You work better when you're scared. You help each other instead of competing when resources are limited." Dr. Park smiled. "That's because humans learned something important very early. We're stronger together. Yes, we can eat anything, heal quickly, and survive extreme conditions. But our real strength is that we share these abilities. We teach each other. We protect each other." The council members whispered among themselves. Finally, the head speaker raised all 4 hands for silence. "We have made our decision," it announced. "Earth is officially classified as a Class 5 death world, the highest rating we have. Its people are classified as an apex species." "What does that mean?" Dr. Park asked. "It means," Green Speaker explained, "that humans are now recognized as one of the most dangerous and most remarkable species in the galaxy. Your planet should have killed you. Instead, it made you stronger. All members of the Galactic Council must understand this," the head speaker continued. "Humans are not to be threatened. They are not to be attacked. They are not to be experimented on. Any aggressive action against Earth or its people will be considered an act of war against the entire Council." Dr. Park heard Captain Rose Lee whisper from behind her, "They're more scared of us than we are of them." "Not scared," Blue Speaker corrected, its hearing better than they expected. "Respectful, and perhaps a little bit in awe. You humans are something we've never seen before." "Indeed," the head speaker said, "which is why we have another announcement. We wish to learn from humans. Not just your technology or your science, but your adaptability. Your ability to grow stronger from adversity. Your way of working together under pressure. Dr. Park felt pride swell in her chest. We would be happy to teach you. With proper safety protocols, of course, Yellow Speaker added quickly. We still haven't recovered from seeing Captain Lee's exercise routine. Everyone laughed, the sound of human chuckles mixing with alien rustling. So, Dr. Park said, what happens now? Now, the head speaker replied, we begin a new chapter in galactic history. Humans will join the council as full members. You will share your knowledge, and we will share ours. Together, we will all become stronger. As Dr. Park looked around the room, she saw hope and curiosity replacing fear in the aliens' colors. Yes, humans were deadly. Yes, they were terrifying by most species standards. But they were also teachers, healers, builders, and friends. Sometimes, being the scariest species in the galaxy meant you had a responsibility to help others become stronger too. And humans were very, very good at helping others grow stronger.